everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the Soul Space. I am Georgia Rose here every Monday night at 7 o'clock in the Strong Island Studios, right here in Massapequa, New York. So just sharing the show. If you guys would like to do that, I would be forever grateful. And I want to thank everybody who is now a subscriber on my YouTube channel. That has been really growing, and I'm really thrilled about that. So thank you so much for supporting my work, and your comments and everything that I hear from you all really is wonderful because it really helps me keep going. So I'm just going to share the show. Give me 1 second while I type because I still have not mastered typing and talking. Here we go. There we are. Okay, so last couple of shows, we did some really heavy topics. I was talking about rejection and betrayal, and then we went on to talk about trust, and the phones were ringing off the hook last week during the show. So we'll put that number up in a few minutes. But I wanted to kind of recap a little bit and make this show a little bit lighter, because I feel like when we listen to things that are really deep and we're starting to do all of our work, and we're really going deep into our depths and into our shadow and into really finding that soul space, sometimes we need to lighten up a little bit and just enjoy ourselves a little bit. So tonight's show, I'm going to go over all of our October energy and really want to talk a lot about the astrology for October tonight because it is really an intense month. I also feel as 2023 winds down, October is a very noisy month. It's a very fast-paced month. And it's a month where we're going to have quite a lot of very uncomfortable energy. But it's preparing us for 2024. So I feel like this month is a month where we can get a lot of work done, even though we may not see the results of it right away, but know that things are happening under the surface. So I'm going to jump into that. So just to give you guys an idea of everything that has been going on will go on for the month of October. We've got, first of all, a lot of planets moving, meaning they're coming out of one sign and going into another. And when planets move around, those shifts create energy shifts. Every part of the zodiac has a certain archetype, a certain energy to it. Every planet has an energy to it. So when planets go from, say, Libra to Scorpio or from Virgo to Libra, it changes the energy on the planet here. So I'm going to say hello to a couple of people. Hey, Marilyn, how are you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. Janine, how are you? I've got Michelle Allen here. Hey, Michelle, Aaron, Janine, Monica. Hey, everybody. So what I'm going to say is a lot of times I always say buckle up because we got so much energy coming in the month. This month is a month where you kind of want to close your front door and just stay home. There's going to be a lot of activity, but it's really important for us to stay out of the surface because it's almost like an ocean, right? And you have all this energy on top of the ocean and it's just churning and you have all these waves and all these white caps. But then below the surface, it's really calm and nothing's going on 100 feet deep. It's like your little sanctuary. That's kind of how October is. So my advice is to definitely use October to do some deep work. So first thing we've got is eclipse season coming in. We've got an eclipse on October 14th, and we've got another one October 28th or 29th. I'll look on my notes. So we've got a lot of energy. When eclipses come in, eclipse energy means things change, but they change permanently. It's not like oftentimes when we have a Mercury retrograde or a Venus retrograde and the energy changes something and then normally it changes back. It's temporary. When things happen during eclipse season, they're usually permanent. They're permanent changes. So if you find a relationship breaking down or a job loss or you find something that comes in that's a beginning, a new job or a new romance, usually they're things that are going to last for a long time when they happen or they originate on an eclipse. It's full-time, long-time energy. So we've got the new moon eclipse on October 14th. That's in Libra at 21 degrees. I know because it's right on my sun, my birthday. And we have a full moon in Scorpio coming in as well with the Taurus eclipse. So with those eclipse seasons and what happens during in between those eclipses, it stirs up a lot of energy. Eclipses are symbolically light and dark. They represent light and dark because you have two luminaries on our planet, two main luminaries that give off light, our moon and our sun, right? So when one passes in front of the other, you have a moment of extinguishing the light, making it dark, and then allowing it to come into light again. So the energy and the symbolism of that is things in our own life that are in the dark have to come to light, and it makes us aware, but it can be uncomfortable because none of us likes to go into the dark. And then a lot of times the things that are revealed when the lights come on, when we're illuminated, are uncomfortable at first. They're new, they're unknown. So that's what usually happens with eclipses. The eclipse that is coming on the 14th is going to definitely, I think, be an energy that really changes things up for us because it's aspecting the planet Uranus. And Uranus is sudden changes. It's shocking change, good or bad. It's shocking. It's things we really don't expect. It's like that old saying, expect it when you least expect it, right? So when that eclipse happens, something's going to really kind of shift. You're going to feel a shift. There's other aspects that come in then also, which we'll talk about in a second. But the next full moon in Scorpio that we have, which is the Taurus eclipse, that aspects Jupiter. And so that's going to be like a larger than life energy. So we've got all this turmoil in between that, but the month starts out very much in tremendous amount of energy. Like you'll feel a push forward because we have some planets that are now direct, not retrograde, not moving as slow. So it'll feel like things are moving faster on the surface, but we're still going to feel like even though all this energy and all this activity is around us, we're going to feel in some ways like things aren't really changing, aren't really moving, because we have so many other planets that are still moving very, very slowly. Mercury goes into Libra on October 4th. Mercury goes into Scorpio on October 22nd. Venus goes into, clears its shadow and goes into Libra on October 8th. Mars goes into Scorpio on October 12th. So you see where all these major planets are moving and changing the energy. So Pluto goes direct October 10th. Pluto has been retrograde for a really long time. And Pluto is moving really, really slow. It's stuck at that 28th degree of Capricorn. And the whole month it barely moves a degree. The same with Saturn. Saturn barely moves a degree. It doesn't go direct till November 4th. What does that mean? When planets are moving extremely slow, their energy felt on the Earth is much more intensified. The energy of the planet becomes much more felt by us and much more felt out in the general energy of the world. So it's going to be hard to see progress this month with Saturn and Pluto still going so slow, and yet there's going to be a lot of activity around us on the surface. Things are happening below the surface. This is a great month to be able to do significant work, but you're not going to see the results immediately. And when I say do significant work, it's a great time to detach from all the activity and don't be in the beehive. Let all the bees be in the beehive and you go someplace else and kind of reset. And we're going to have a couple of shows about that coming up this month. So October is a really noisy month. It's a month where we're getting out of some of the retrogrades, but we still got some planets in the retrogrades. Venus, Mercury, and Mars are now direct, but we still got Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Chiron retrograde. So even though those planets that just went direct are causing the activity, all the really deep stuff, the important stuff, the stuff of substance is still moving a little slow. You're still going to have these projects that you've been trying to do for months. They're still going to be niggly. You're going to feel like you want to move forward into tomorrow, but you're still dealing with yesterday's crap. It's just the way it's going to be for another month. So going into some significant days, it's almost like we're waiting for the tide to come in. You know, did you ever go to the beach and the tide's going out, but you wanted to, you know, see the waves or see bigger waves come in? So you're going to maybe hang out for a little while until the tide comes back in. You want that energy. That's kind of what this month is going to feel like. And sometimes that can be uncomfortable. It feels more like we are moving, but we're not moving because the outer planets are still retrograde. So want to talk a little bit about Pluto because Pluto's really ruling the show this month. And Pluto is an energy of transformation, but Pluto basically is an energy of power and power dynamics and power struggles. So this month, a lot of that's going to get exacerbated and amplified. And the best way to win a power struggle is to disengage. When someone's really stuck in trying to be powerful and trying to force their will upon you, the best thing you can do is just disengage and let that energy dissipate. And also, I think, one of the things that I personally just adore and really held sacred in myself is this unshakable serenity. A lot of times there's a lot of stuff going on around me. Maybe someone's coming at me, or someone's disgruntled, or someone's really, being a certain way. And because of all the inner work that I've done, in the last 15 years, I can be in that and not always get entangled in it. That is an unshakable serenity, and that's really what living Zencuda means. It means having that beautiful place of confidence in yourself, that you don't really get caught up in a lot of the power struggles, because you're not really threatened by people who want to, put their will upon you, because it can never happen unless you allow it. So I'm not easily threatened by, competition or insecurities in others. And I think you'll find that many people who have really done their work in the spiritual world, and most of the people that I consider close friends, have that same unshakable serenity. And it's really, really important to develop that within yourself. And that's what this program is about. That's what the podcast is about every week, giving us ways that we can use energy as guidance and certain modalities in order to find that really solid, beautiful soul space in ourself that we keep coming back to, because that's what gives us that unshakable serenity. So this month, we have a month that is so chock full of power dynamic and power struggle, because we have Pluto ruling the roost. And when Pluto rules the roost, people will always want to control you and drag you into that web of the power dynamic. We're going to see a lot of that play out in politics and in the world stage. We're seeing that now. I had the radio on in the car for a few moments on the way over and caught that they are trying to oust McCarthy from, from I guess he's in the Senate or Congress. I don't even know, because I really don't watch it too much anymore. And I just feel like it's a power struggle. Everything gets so lost in these power struggles in our own lives, in the microcosm we live in, and the macrocosm that we live in. And we forget about what really is going on under the surface and what really is the real issues, And so that's going to really play out this month in our own lives, where we're going to get caught up in the surface stuff, those power struggles, how to set the table, how to, do everyday tasks, how to navigate certain things in the family. But what's the real bigger issue that needs to be resolved so that you're not always in the loop, right? That's really what this month is about. So Pluto ruling the roost causes that. And what happens is it makes us very frustrated. I'm gonna just say it right out. Very frustrated this month. It's a very uncomfortable month. It can be a very aggravated month, unless you have a place within yourself where you go to that unshakable serenity. And if you can go to that unshakable serenity and rely on that, it's just not going to be such a rough month for you. But it's going to be a lot of goings on and a lot of rough month for a lot out in the collective. Mars goes into Scorpio. I'll give you the exact date in a moment. Mars in Libra. Libra is a very diplomatic energy. Libra is an energy that always wants to kind of smooth over the conflict for the greater good. That's what most Librans do. We're in Libran season now. I'm a Libra sun. And so Librans get caught up in that and don't always resolve their own issues, because they always keep looking for the conflict resolution in the other and being in harmony. And we know we can never have harmony until we have it in ourselves. So really important to have that unshakable serenity. But Mars in Libra, where it's been for a really long time, is October 12th, Mars goes into Scorpio. Mars goes right at the eclipse. So Mars in Libra is diplomatic. Mars in Libra wants to find the solution, wants to hear your side, wants to be like, well, how do you feel? Because this is how I feel, and la, la, la. That's Mars in Libra. When Mars moves into Scorpio on the 12th, right in the middle of the month, right at this, lunar eclipse, that kind of means like, okay, I am done being diplomatic. I'm just going to do what I got to do now. That's how Mars operates in Scorpio, and my natal Mars is in Scorpio. So Mars in Scorpio around the 12th of the month is really going to come in, and it's going to kind of be an energy that's sort of a little bit of a reckoning. You're going to see that the conflict is, more or less That Libra and Mars, which is very strategic, which really plays chess. You know, Mars in Libra is, I'm going to move here and you're going to move there and this is what's going to happen. Well, Mars in Scorpio is done with that stuff. We're not playing chess anymore. Mars in Scorpio is screw strategy. I want what I want. So around that middle of the month when we have that eclipse, that's how the energy changes. And you're going to see things getting more and more volatile as we crank up to that. So let me go through the dates with you guys, and we can plan your month and guide ourselves with the stars this month. So we've got that Uranian energy, which I had said is going to be, you know, sudden shocking change, especially because that plays out in the eclipse. But Uranus also is moving super slow. It's stuck at 22 degrees of Taurus. It's going to be there all month. It moves maybe a half a degree all month. So what does that mean? It means that powerful, shocking, sudden change is really amplified in October. So you want to separate from that surface and go deeper so that you're not in the mix, all right? This could be a reckoning and rebirth. We have to face the things that are deep. We're going to keep trying to churn the water on the surface, but we got to go below that. This is finishing up the last 15 years of stuff as Pluto is in its final time of Capricorn. So think about what the last 15 years have played out for you. Has there been a liberation? What house is Pluto in your chart? That'll tell you exactly where this is. The other thing about Pluto finishing up now for the final time in Capricorn, it will not be there again in our lifetime. It won't be in Capricorn again for 250 years. So learning your lessons of what Pluto in Capricorn taught you the last 15 years, this was control versus freedom, wherever that plays out in your life. Wherever Capricorn is in your chart, it may be in your house of work, and that would be, you know, freedom and liberation. How were you held back at a profession and now you found your way? It could be in your relationship house. You know, where did you give up your power? Where were you most powerful? It could be in your house of children. You know, did you allow your children to be the parent and run the house, and now you've taken that back, or vice versa? It could be with your parents, you know. So there's some place in your charts where that power versus freedom has been working out. And as it's doing that, you're learning very important lessons for your lifetime, because Pluto will not go back in that area again. So we're going to be finishing up that last 15 years. Pluto goes direct on the 10th. It doesn't move out of Capricorn until the beginning of 2024. So really think about and go deep and learn, what did Pluto try to teach me? If you need a reading about that, just call me and we'll figure it out in your chart. You can book a reading on Zencuda.com. So October 2nd, which is today, Mercury opposes Neptune. That's an important energy because Mercury is out of retrograde. So this is a new energy. It's not repeating a cycle, going back and forth over the same degrees in the zodiac. So Mercury opposing Neptune is an energy that can make our minds a little foggy. I know for myself today, I had some trouble finding words all day. You can tell on this show now. I did a very intense training session this morning on Zoom, and it was, you know, rocky for me, but it came off really well. This is in a new position, and it's a position where you may be feeling something deceptive or confusion. What's going on? What's confusing you? Really try and, you know, think about that. I always say confusion is a good thing because it means the energy is moving forward. If we're not confused, we're not aware, right? October 3rd, Mercury now trines Pluto. That's an energy of spiritual connection. That's an energy of going deep. Remember, Pluto is what lies beneath the surface, and Neptune is our ability to connect to other realms, really see through things, really go to deep meaning. So tomorrow will be a really great day to step out of that material world a little bit and start thinking about what your heart's desires really are and how Pluto, the planet of transformation, can help you accomplish them. On October 8th, we've got Mars coming in with a square to Pluto. This is when the power struggles really start to heat up. So for the next week or so, we're kind of playing with things a little bit. And then as soon as we get to like the 7th and 8th of October, things really start to get intense. All right. These are ongoing power struggles. They amp up. They're going to amp up in your personal life. And we're also going to see things amp up on the world stage. And these are going to be intense until the 20th and 21st of the month. We've got that eclipse in there. We've got all that energy in there. And all the way going to the 20th and 21st of the month, We have an energy that pours salt in the wounds that has already been opened, all right? Very powerful month. But the theme of the month is actually transformation. And it's also trying to teach us a great deal of things. This is about, letting go of some high ideals in order to find the freedom of what truly can be desired. So that 8th and 9th of October starts to come in, and we start to feel some really heavy stuff, because between the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, it's all amping up. The 4th is a day of exaggeration. I'm going to tell you, on Wednesday, people are going to exaggerate things. Everyone's going to be very melodramatic. Then we go into the 5th. There's going to be a lot of conflict. That's when it really starts to amp up. October 7th is when we are trying to bring into fruition these high ideals that we have, and we get stuck. We get frustrated on the 7th. Things don't go really according to plan, and that's when we learn to let go of them. That's when the transformation really starts. Because on October 8th is when that Mars and Pluto energy comes in, and that's that deep intensity, that's that emotional responses, it's the power struggle. Remember, Pluto's really slow, so it's going to really amplify that energy. And then Saturn comes in around that same time frame, and Saturn makes the power struggle about the people who make the rules. And so the power is really shifting, because in 2024, we're going to see more power go to the people. But this is the culmination of that last vestiges of Pluto in Capricorn, about that top-down power being disintegrated. And wherever that plays out in your life, those are going to start to really unravel and come apart this month. The control by a powerful, patriarchal type of energy is really going to start to break through and break apart. And again, this is all happening on the surface. Underneath, we know what it's really about. Underneath, we know we are always free in our own minds and hearts if that's what we believe and that's the way we live. That unshakable serenity keeps us free. We don't get tied up and entangled in other people's power struggles. We don't get tied up and entangled in the energy of the horrible things that are going on with the people around us or in the world, only in regards to where we can help and be a light to those things, right? We don't allow our own lives to be diluted, disintegrated, put into turmoil by those energies. And this is really what this energy is trying to teach us, is to develop that inner strength and that unshakable serenity. It's an incredibly dynamic energy. And those of you who've been listening to the show a long time, you know I'm all about the polarity. That is how we find solution and answer in our lives, is to go into the polarity of the energy, the opposite. And so this is incredibly dynamic power struggles. It's incredibly dynamic might is right type energy. But what's the polarity of that? Hey, nobody can push you around unless you allow it. You can detach and go do your thing, right? If 20 people told me I really shouldn't be doing this podcast, and who do I think I am, and why am I going on every Monday at 7 o'clock and talking about spiritual things and life development, and who am I to do that? If 20 people told me that, it wouldn't even penetrate me, because I know I'm doing what I want to do, and I know I'm helping people, and I know what the outcome of the show is. So that's how we have to be about the things we're really passionate about. That serenity that we have within us is really what feeds our passion. That's that fire, right? That eternal fire. So allow this incredibly dynamic energy to come out into the open without being entangled in it, and use it for observation to see what you need to change and what in your life really needs to move forward and be different. Because that's what I'm going to do. October is going to be a really multi-changing month for me. And I'm actually looking forward. I'm kind of anticipating where I'm going to end up, and looking forward to how this is going to be really dynamic and what it's going to change in my life. So the energy starts just building up that way and building up that way. Around the 9th, we have some energy that comes in where we're still building the momentum. But for those of us who take those time outs and those pauses and go into our serenity, we're really going to be able to see something more meaningful in all the struggles. And the communication in the world is going to be really messed up. I have to tell you, around that 8th, 9th, and 10th of the month, the communication, and I don't mean messed up as far as technical things, I mean that this is an energy where people are going to want to speak to power. It's almost like truth to authority. There's that saying in the world, truth to power, and I think a lot of people abuse that saying a little bit, and a lot of people, have coined that saying. But I think where that has come from is speaking truth to authority, that is, that tyrannical authority, and speaking truth about how it's really not right action. That's very noble. But this energy is an energy where people are going to want to like just talk back to authority and, kind of spill aggression around a little bit. So you're going to see a lot of war of words. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a very heavy news day, that 8th, 9th, and 10th news cycle, and that, you see things where people are just, really using their words like a war of words. So be really careful in that, because this energy is very descriptive. It's people really coming in, and wrath, I want to say wrath, power, and it's with words, a lot of words. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe, something comes out, because this is a very revelatory energy, especially with some planets and Mars headed to Scorpio. Hidden things come out. So it could be something like someone finds a tape recording of somebody saying something, or someone's caught on a hot mic saying something, or maybe someone overhears something that you say, or vice versa, or you overhear something. But this is really about words, and the middle of the month, you're going to see that play out. I feel it in my body as I'm saying it, so I know something's going to happen that'll play out on the world stage. Really potent, really descriptive. But the messaging of the month is really all about awareness. The reason why this energy is coming in and why it's so incredibly dynamic is because spirit, the universe, whatever you believe in, the higher power, wants us to develop awareness of what's really going on under the surface in our lives, and where we really need to confront some things that we don't want to confront in order to bring an awareness into our lives so that we can really activate change. Pluto is an energy of transformation, but for me, in my personal life, because of the descents I've had and the hardships I've had, and I know Pluto's been with me for about 15 years, these last 15 years, causing a lot of these things, because that's where the wisdom is that we get. And so for me, Pluto represents courage and valor. And so I think this is a month where maybe some things are going to play out, and it could be something maybe not as intense for you. It depends on the chart for each individual. But I think this is a month where we're going to be brought into situations where our courage and valor have to see us through. And a lot of times that means something that, it's not like confronting the dragon or the lion that's, in the cave. It's doing it in our own space, in our own soul space, in our own lives, and really going deep and saying, I have this issue and I always keep repeating it. How am I going to break free from this? Or seeing something within ourselves that we really do, and that maybe other people have tried to show us that we do, but yet we have always denied, right? Maybe we have a bad habit or an addiction or a bad temper or anything. And now this energy is going to really exacerbate it, really exaggerate it, knock on the door of it, so that we absolutely have to go in, confront it, find the transformation, find that power struggle within ourselves, meet it head on, and be super courageous to change it. So, that's how this month's going to go. And then that eclipse comes in. As I said, the eclipse has Uranian energy in it. So you're going to find that that's when something maybe very magnetic, electric, I always think of Uranus as that lightning in the room that comes in. We're in the dark and we don't know where anything is. We can't remember exactly where the furniture is placed in the room. And then lightning strikes, and in that split second, we see where everything is, and then it goes dark again. But we can navigate it because now we have the map in our brain. And that's kind of what Uranus is. It can be those aha moments that give us the power to move forward in our life. So we're going to be moving forward under the surface this month, not moving forward a whole lot in our things that we do, in our material lives. But what I will tell you is don't give up on those things. Keep plugging away. I'm working on a lot of projects right now, and I keep going on them a little bit every day because I know that those rewards are coming in 2024. So I'm going to go to our comments, and Bobby's going to open the phone lines, which he did. So if anybody wants to call on the show, I'm going to go back and read our comments. Thanks for sharing, Marilyn. And if anybody has any questions they want to ask, hi, Bonnie, tonight, please do. I hope, write down some of those dates that I just said, because those are the dates that you really want to watch for, especially around that, from October 8th until that lunar eclipse, because that is absolutely when this energy is going to be like, woof, woof, woof. Okay, got a phone call. Hi, welcome to the Soul Space. This is Georgia Rose.
Hi, Georgia Rose. It's Marilyn Pisano. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Marilyn. How are you?
I'm very well. Very well, thank you. I just wanted to tell you and tell you how grateful I am for your show and your insight every week in astrology and the planets.
Oh, thank you.
It's been most helpful to me. So I wanted to let you know that first and foremost.
Oh, thank you. I have to pull some cards for you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
and I just want you to know, in the past you have said certain things and directions, and you had said, I'm already winning in a situation. Yeah. And I can't even tell you how accurate, and the confirmation was 100%.
Oh, that's so great to hear.
My trajectory has changed in my life, and things are going really smoother. I had to leave a bad, toxic relationship, an abusive relationship behind. And since I did that, got it all, purged it out, forgive them, move on, forgive myself.
Right.
My whole life has opened up.
See that? You open space. Well, I'm really proud to hear you say that, because I think that's so hard to do, first of all. So I want to just give you applause and send you up some hearts. And if everybody in the Soul Space watching online wants to send some hearts up to Marilyn, it's so hard to do those things. And yet, because we confuse security with our restriction, right? We think something is giving us security, but it's really holding us back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hard lesson to learn.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's almost like you become complacent. But then when you really free yourself, you really see the doors open up, because when one door shuts, I'm realizing 3, 4, 5, 6 doors open. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, and I think you're so right, and I've experienced that myself. And I believe the reason why that happens is because when we show love to ourselves, now that becomes the energy around us. And so the universe just gives us love, It's amazing.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad to hear that. Well, congratulations, because I know how hard that must have been. So, but it's nice that you're in good space.
It was 5.5 years of, on and off, and, manipulation and control. And, I broke free, and, it was a hard process. But I know people are stuck on the hamster wheel. But I'm just finally happy that I broke free.
Well, I'm happy too. And thank you for calling in. So I'm going to tell you your cards. I just picked 3 cards for you. First card I got was the 7 of Cups, which, is all about choices. And so I feel like you're in this place now. And it's funny that you said, doors opening, because I feel like you're in the center of a room with a lot of doors. So you're going to have a lot of choices. And I feel like now that you have this renewed spirit, you're going to pick the right choices. So just go slow and, weigh things. Nothing has to be rushed. The next card that I got, Marilyn, was the major arcana, the number 8 card, which is the strength card, which is the lion tamer. And I love this for you, because this is really that quiet fortitude that I feel like you're developing in yourself. Whereas before, maybe people could, push your trigger and you'd kind of, go back at them, or maybe, we always get in those arguments. I feel like now you really walk away a lot, and you kind of know the power within yourself. So
you're 100% right. I actually
feel that energy.
Laugh under my breath and say, "You got this. You don't need to feed into things anymore."
Exactly. You're the strongest person in the room when you do that. So I'm getting those cards, and I think you're going to bring that energy to the choices that you might be making soon, because I feel like you just go about things in a completely different way. And the next card that I picked for you was the 6 of Wands, and the 6 of Wands is absolutely spirit coming in right now and just giving you like applaud, reward, saying great job. It's the card where you have the soldier coming back from battle, and he's being, celebrated. So that card is really showing me that you are definitely being celebrated by the universe right now for your hard work.
So that's awesome. And I feel it. I really do feel it.
Your energy is really upbeat.
Totally resonated.
Awesome. So I picked from my own deck. I have a set of oracle cards that I created called Circle of Light, and I picked a card from you from that deck, and number 21 from the oracle card deck came out. So I don't know if that has any significance for you, but number 21 is freedom. And number 21 is divine light is the wind beneath wings. So, and it has a picture of a bird flying. So you are just, the next few months and 2024 are going to be amazing for you. I feel like the next two couple of months until the end of the year, it's almost like you're still sweeping up, cleaning up, tying loose ends. And then I think 2024, a lot of stuff just wide open for you.
That's awesome. From your lips to God's ears, because I really,
and
honestly,
you can manifest it.
I'm an energy person. I feel it so deep within my soul, and I know that that's truth.
Oh, blessings to you. And thank you for calling in tonight. You made
You're
my
welcome.
day.
Thank you so very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, hon.
So that's so great because when we let go of certain things, I always say my question on every relationship, whether it's in my family or work or wherever, it may sound funny, but my main question I always ask is, do I feel loved here? And a lot of times and I say this on the show a lot, we ask the question, do they love me? Do they love me? And if you got to ask that, then the answer is probably not an answer you want to hear. So the real question to ask in relationship is either, do I feel loved? If you feel loved, then something's real and worth working on. And the other question you can ask too, and this is a great one, is there love there? Because sometimes we're angry and we may want to make decisions, or we're angry and we may want to, take an action, but you've got to go back into the love. Where is the love in the relationship? Is there love there? I may want to tell this person off. Maybe my sibling really ticked me off and I'm on my way over there in the car. But then you can catch yourself and say, is there love there? Is there love in what I'm about to do? And if the answer is no, then you turn the car around and you don't do it. So love is really the barometer for a lot of things. And I think we forget that. I think we get caught up in, oh, well, he wears that shirt I hate. And, oh, she's so annoying. She never shuts up. Yeah, but do you love her? Do you feel loved by her? Isn't that like the important stuff? Compatibility is important, but love is so rare in this world that when you find someone who loves you or you feel loved by someone, you better hold on tight to that, is all I'm going to say. And when you're with someone that you don't feel that, then move along. Nothing to see here. So when love don't live there anymore, you move on. All right. So I got another call. We got you guys calling into the show tonight. Hi, welcome to the Soul Space. How are you?
I don't remember. Hi, Georgia. It's Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. We missed you at Reiki.
Oh, I want to come back.
Yeah, no, you should. We had quite a few ladies. I just did a circle this month because COVID seems to be rearing its head again, so they didn't want individual. But anyway, how are you doing, ma'am? I know you had something going on with you.
I'm doing well, thanks. Things are going good.
So do you have a question for me or cards, or you want me to do cards?
I do. When you were talking about the planets and the I've been having a real problem with smoking.
Oh.
I had stopped smoking years ago and I was vaping.
Okay.
And then I tried to stop vaping and now I'm chain smoking.
Wow.
Stopping vaping, I put that down, that was fine. And I put patches on my shoulder and I was doing good. And then all of a sudden now I can't stop smoking and I got patches on. I'm like,
so you're craving that. You're craving it. Okay. So what I would say to you is, and this is also true for a lot of, addictions that we have, whatever the addiction is. And I'm not an addiction counselor. I'm not a doctor, but what I find is a lot of times when we have something that's a ritual or something that has become a comfort for us, it's a survival instinct. So what's happening is you're really attaching to those cigarettes. And it's almost as though like you feel like if I don't have one, I'm going to die. And I know that seems like an exaggeration, but it's just like, sometimes we get in a habit, like suppose it's summertime and like we start eating ice cream every night. And we just can't break that habit of eating ice cream. It's because it's a survival instinct. There's something we're attaching to with that action of the ice cream that we're afraid to give up. So I would go really deep and just kind of, because you're a very sensitive person and you're somatic, you can feel things in the body, you're a Reiki practitioner, So what I would suggest, and this is for everybody out there listening as well, try and feel like even, you're reaching for that cigarette, you want to have one again. Just take a pause if you can and really kind of even, close your eyes, try to go into a little meditation, not a meditation telling yourself not to do it. Go into a little bit of a pause and a meditation to ask yourself, why do I need this? What does my body, what does my mind, what does my heart, wherever you're feeling sensation, what is it needing from me right now?
Okay.
Because you're using that cigarette to fulfill a need, just like the ice cream sundae or whatever it is. There's a reason you're doing it. And until you get in behind that reason, it's going to be very difficult.
Okay.
So there's something that you're attaching to it. And it's definitely, I know, when I look back in the times in my life, I recently just gained a little bit of weight, and I was the same weight for 15 years. And everybody's like, oh, you're getting a little older now, whatever. And I'm like, no, because I know, in the material world, it's what you eat and how much you move. That's what calories are, right? So I knew I wasn't moving as much as I used to, but I really had to have a sit-down talk with myself. And when I went back and thought about the times in my life whenever I was gaining weight, it was always when I was insecure about a certain thing. Mm-hmm. And so I was equating eating had become my survival mechanism. I'm going to die if I don't eat. Oh my God, I got to eat. And I was even starting to carry cereal or a hard-boiled egg or something in my bag all the time. If I was going to leave the house, I had to have food with me. That's crazy. So now I get to go out without food with me all the time. But
there you go.
Yeah, so it's but that's what it is. The same with the cigarettes. It's you're probably afraid to leave the house. Oh my God, where are my cigarettes? You've attached your survival to them.
Yeah.
And it's like a brain mechanism. So if anybody has any other things, if they want to put in the comments to help Bonnie, because I know really want you to kick that habit because it's so unhealthy. But do you have any idea what you might
try
be?
That, thanks.
Do you have any idea what it might be? What the insecurity might be?
I grew up in a house with smokers.
Right.
And smoke kind of smells like home.
There you go. So you're afraid of that loss of innocence of giving up that.
In the world.
Yeah, and you're good. It's that loss of innocence. Anytime we're attached to something, we attach to it because it symbolizes an innocence, a safety, a childlike, and so let me put it to you this way: it would take a lot of maturity to go without smoking tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yet the smoking, the whole ritual of it, the smell of it, the feel of it, being around it reminds you of being a child. So you've got to break that attachment because you're not going to be able to have the maturity not to do it when it reminds you of being a child.
Yeah.
So it's that loss of innocence. You're trying to get back that feeling of being home.
Yeah, I guess I need to go spend some time in nature and just
and make yourself feel safe. You have to get to that place that, that unshakable serenity, that soul space where I'm safe without that.
Cool.
And the reason why I'm going to tell you to do that, Bonnie, is because as well as I do, the way the universe works is something will happen for that habit to be abducted from you, right? We talked about the abduction last week. So life gives us abductions so that we learn our lessons.
True.
Because the wisdom is in the loss. So if you don't take care of it, something's going to happen that you have to take care of it.
That's true.
And I love you, and I don't want to see that happen.
Thank you.
I'm going to pull a couple of cards for you.
Thank you. I had to turn the picture off so I can't see you anymore.
Oh, okay.
On my phone.
You can always watch replays, guys. I'm on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm on every podcast known to man, and also on my Zencuda on YouTube, which I know is growing by leaps and bounds. I'm so happy about that. Okay.
That's great.
So, Bonnie, first card I got was the Judgment card, and sometimes that's about health. So we got to get you out of this habit. Maybe join a support group even or something. I don't know. And then I got the Magician upside down, which means that you are blocking your ability. You can do this. You have the power within you. Don't block it. Don't tell yourself, I don't want to. Don't tell yourself you can't, because you can. You're a really strong lady. And then the third card I got was the Page of Swords upside down. I think you're going to find some mechanism or some therapy that is helpful to you in this quest of trying to stop the smoking. So look around and open to that, become aware. Maybe you need the patch, or maybe you need some kind of thing to help you over the edge. But I think that's coming in. But the first card I got was the health card. So really pay attention to what's going on with that. All right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Thank you for calling in.
Oh, thanks. Bye-bye. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All righty. I got to watch my time. I don't have a clock up. So tea time with Teresa follows me. So tune into that. So I'm going to look onto our comments. Not a lot of comments tonight. So I hope you guys are all listening intently. All right, so what I want to also reiterate about this month's energy is when we talk about transformation, sometimes transformation can be something really big in our lives and something very deep. It usually is with a sky like this. But it can also be just something physical in the physical world, like maybe taking on a new health routine, or maybe moving our physical space too. Don't forget that that's happening for a lot of people, especially this time of year. Also, I want to remind everybody that October 23rd, Monday, October 23rd, my special guest is going to be Kathy Marinelli Gagliano. For those of you who know Kathy locally, Kathy is a boy mom to beautiful sons, and one of her sons is challenged, and she wrote a book about her journey called A Mother's Intuition, and she's going to be here on October 23rd, and she and I are going to be talking about all kinds of challenges and how we weather the storms through our lives and all kinds of things like that. So that'll be really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to pick a couple of things for our energy just this month, a couple of cards for this month. And the first card I'm going to pick, this is for the macrocosm, for our world energy. First card that I'm going to pick, just shuffling these cards tonight. And I hope you're enjoying the show. If you are sharing the show, please do that. If you have friends that you think would enjoy the show. Okay, we got choices, which is definitely this month. And the next card is the sun. And I wanted to let you guys know, the sun also has got a lot of aspects that is exacerbating a lot of this power struggle energy, because the sun is just like beaming on certain aspects to Pluto and Venus. So choices, we're going to have a lot of choices this month. Again, use love as your barometer. When you need to make a choice, is this loving myself? Is this where love is? Do I feel loved doing this? You know, always follow the love. And then what I'm going to do is pull a card from my Circle of Light deck. There's a beautiful deck of 22 cards that I created and wrote all of the explanations for everything. So I'm going to pull a card for the world energy for this month. And the card that I'm pulling is Shadow. That's the Pluto card. Number 6, Shadow. Let light triumphs over all darkness. So I want you guys to know, as this month progresses, we're going to see a lot of power struggles. We're going to see a lot of information become revealed to us. Always keep your own counsel and go within to find that beautiful space of serenity where you can really pull your strength from. And remember, no matter how dark things seem, no matter how much courage we have to have, there's always light. And that's what this shadow card means. When we look at the shadow, we can't have a shadow unless there's light somewhere, right? Shadows only are caused by light. So there's always light. There's never only darkness. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the Soul Space this evening. You can see my videos on Zencuda on YouTube, on Facebook, and also Zencuda Official on Instagram. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I will be giving you astrology videos and some other spiritual videos, card pulls, and all kinds of things. Thanks so much. I hope you work on finding your soul space this week. Bye-bye now.